I had to escape my room because, yeah, I was not wanted in there. But don't worry, this is my TARDIS, and this is where I'm going to be safe. So, I'm going to start talking about the first episode, jump right in, which is Partners in Crime. This is where the Doctor reunites with Donna Noble, who he has previously met in the Christmas special, but chose not to travel with him. Now, I personally like this episode because, not necessarily because there's a great villain in it, but because it introduces Donna Noble once again, and it's a very funny episode. It's quirky, it's a little cheesy, but it's very ironic. It includes the Doctor going back and forth with Donna, arguing, meeting up in places that they should have met up a while ago, and really showing Donna's character start to grow as a person because she hadn't initially, been interested in this kind of stuff. So, hey, she's taking an interest in alien and interesting, mysterious affairs. However, the next episode really defines Donna because it is the episode The Fires of Pompeii. Now, I feel this is an absolutely perfect episode that is fantastic in every single way. The villains are super, super scary, very creepy. It uses a real-life event and uses the mystery of it to use it to their advantages in Doctor Who, which is why I've been arguing that they should do a Great Pyramids of Giza and how aliens help build the pyramids, but that's beside the fact. But it really presents the character of Donna Noble and introduces the 12th Doctor a little bit early as Carcilius, who is the marble sculptor that someone sells the TARDIS to. And overall, it's a very well done episode, very well written, really advances Donna's character very well, and really shows the Doctor that he does need someone, even though he says that he doesn't necessarily. Now, the next episode is one that I like a little bit less than Fires of Pompeii, but adds up to it very well. It reintroduces the Ood, who you're still not sure whether or not they're good or bad, which that's what I love in a villain. I do love when when it's not certain whether or not they're good or bad. And they go to the planet of the Ood, where you sort of see the background and the beginnings of where we left off in the Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit, where you simply met the Ood as a species that got infected by this spirit, this evil devil. While in this episode, it shows how the Ood are still affected by something like that, but you sort of begin to feel sympathy for the Ood, which is very important in lining up Tennant's final season and final few specials. The character of Donna Noble, she becomes more empathetic, which you had never thought initially that would happen to her. And I remember watching this episode in parts and in pieces, and I was very touched by the episode and how they could really bring such an unknown species, and a species that was very unpredictable in how they were going to react with the Doctor, and really feel true sympathy for them. Now, the next episode is a two-parter that reintroduces the Sontarans, who haven't been seen since the classic series, and I feel like there's a lot of homage paid to the classic series, with the Doctor working with UNIT, the mentioning of Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. If any of you are new Whovians and don't know the classic Who, look up the Brigadier. He's very important, and he's worth looking up, but it is the modern-day episode that includes aliens that simply want to take over the world. They are very war-driven, and it's a very interesting episode seeing them interact with humans, which is, in my opinion, sort of showing their weakness because they don't like to ally with certain people, and they find themselves to be the dominant war race. But they use different features like simple cars and gassing the planet to try to take control, and you really get more characterization of Donna's grandfather and Donna's mother, and get more of that family feel that Donna doesn't necessarily have because she's a grown woman, as opposed to Martha Jones and Rose Tyler, who were sort of entering the stages of adulthood at the time. With Martha Jones on board the TARDIS, and it's spiraling out of control, you're brought into this next episode, which is called The Doctor's Daughter. Now, this is immediately a shock to you that before the credits even start, the Doctor's Daughter is introduced. But then, of course, you realize this is Doctor Who, and nothing is as it seems. So, you're introduced to this daughter, this biologically created daughter of the Doctor, and not only do you have that, but you have the two companions on the two different sides of people that aren't necessarily villains. You have the humans and you have the Hath fighting this war that is completely unnecessary and completely channels what the Doctor is supposed to be doing. But you have the Doctor's daughter, who is made to be on one of the sides of the people that are fighting. So it's almost a very manipulative episode mixed with the Doctor's simple and seemingly easy task of making people reach peace while also having the conflicting values that he wants to instill upon his daughter. Now, the next episode, I'm going to fight for, because critics and others, particularly my friends, don't necessarily consider this as a good episode, whereas I think it's very good. The Unicorn and the Wasp. It takes a murder mystery and puts the Doctor in it. That's all I can say. It introduces Agatha Christie. It introduces these very compelling and different characters that creates a typical mystery where you're unsure about who they truly are, and you're unsure about truly who the killer is as well. And there's two different people involved in this they're both involved in completely unrelated plots, but the Unicorn, who is a jewel thief, and the Wasp, who is an alien from another planet, the Doctor has to figure out what it is. And it also is the second episode in the series that introduces a mystery that is not necessarily solved, and now Whovians can truly say why Agatha Christie lost her memory and what truly happened that day. But I think it's a very well-written episode, and an episode that really shows the Doctor's humor and the Doctor's fear of affecting the past, and also introduces Donna as just a character that is amazed by everything that's happening still, even after all this time traveling with the Doctor. Now, the next two episodes, all I have to say is Moffat. It's a two-parter called Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead, and you can appreciate, once you've watched it, if anyone ever says that they're scared of their shadow, you can truly relate to why. It presents this a not-so-typical monster that creates a not-so-typical fear in people and appears to be something that cannot be stopped. And, more importantly, it introduces the character of River Song. And, regardless of the relationship between River and the Doctor, the episode is very suspenseful, almost very scary, very creepy episode with a truly cliffhanger that really just exemplifies what Doctor Who is supposed to do, and sort of it gives us a preview of what Moffat is going to do to us in the Matt Smith era. And going back to the River and Doctor relationship, you can watch the episode the first time and side with the Doctor, who doesn't really know who River is, but she's trying to explain to him who he is, or who she is to him. But then you can watch it again, knowing who River is after watching all of the Matt Smith episodes, and still truly appreciate the episode for what it's worth, as well as the characterization of it as well. Now, the next episode is called Midnight. Now, I will say I appreciate it, but I do not particularly like it. I don't like it because it was very light on Donna, which I will go into one of those rants in another video, but I do appreciate it for its psychological horror. There's this mysterious creature. The Doctor goes on this little train with all of these people who it sort of brings this paranoia of the human race and the inability to listen to people, and sort of I feel like that's why it frustrated me, because it shows the human race in a truly terrible predicament, and the Doctor trying to appease the situation, but there's this very, very dark spirit that the Doctor doesn't completely understand, so how is he supposed to calm everybody else down? And it sort of brings about almost a political and a psychological fear into an episode, which is a very suspenseful episode to watch, but not one of the more exciting, considering that the Doctor is in a closed area for a given amount of time. But I feel like the excitement makes up for it in the next episode, Turn Left. Now, I appreciate this episode because it is very heavy on Donna, and she does have to share screen time because it does feature the return of Rose Tyler. And of course, everybody loves Rose. She's the first companion who is really, in New Who and in Doctor Who in general, really, really characterized and really showed this strong female role, considering the fact that the Doctor's never been a female. And obviously there's the debate about that. But it introduces this idea, once again, of this alternate world that Donna's been living in under a simple hypnotist, and shows this very unique problem that I don't want to get into in case people haven't seen it, but it's a very, very good episode that I would watch over and over, and it's a Doctor Light episode that recaps everything that's happened if something were to happen to the Doctor, and creates this alternate universe that is just terrifying, and really shows how important the Doctor is to everybody, even though he's not in the episode, but also starts to show how important Donna is, and leads into the series finale. Now, the series finale is, in one word, epic. Stolen Earth, Journey's End, the two-parter. Now, the Doctor and Donna, the Earth is stolen. Right from under them, or through them, or over them. Not entirely sure. The point is, they're in the TARDIS, and the Earth just gets stolen, but the TARDIS remains in the same place, considering the TARDIS it's the most powerful spaceship in the universe. But it features the return of every single one of Tennant's companions, which is just, the first thing is a mind-blower in general. And then, Not only that, it introduces, I won't spoil it, but let me say the Daleks are in it, reintroduces yet another classic Who character that is very formidable and very much shocks David Tennant. And things happen in that episode where all the companions are involved. It's an intertwined story with different villains coming back and really everything being tied up from a story arc that you didn't even know was going on. Even with the Martha Jones Season 3 story arc, you knew that something was going on when there were mysteries that weren't being solved. But Donna Noble's story and her story arc was very, very much ambiguous until this point. And this episode is really an eye-opener to the entire series, I feel, and a very strong episode of Donna Noble, even though she has to, yet again, share screen time. Alright, thanks for watching the video. All my subscribers, thank you very much. All my viewers, let me know what you think in the comments. I will rank these episodes in my comments. I know these videos have been very vague and not necessarily expressing my gratitude towards certain episodes, but I will be making other videos once I finish with my rankings. The next video will be the David Tennant specials, which will go back all the way to his first episode as the Doctor, going through his evolution in intervals of the specials, and then, of course, addressing the end of time. So, until then,